Have you ever walked into a house where someone simply says, "Turn on the lights," and suddenly, the lights come on, then they say, "Set the temperature to 72 degrees." A few seconds later, the air conditioner starts running. Then, lock the front door. Click, the door locks. No switches, no remote, no walking from room to room, just a few words. It almost feels like the house is listening. Almost like the house is listening, saying, "Shh." Here's the strange part. Light bulbs don't speak English. Neither does your TV. Your coffee maker doesn't understand your voice. Your thermostat has no idea what the sentence, "Good morning," actually means. So, how can one simple sentence somehow control an entire house? Does AI actually live inside that tiny smart speaker on your kitchen counter? Is there a tiny computer inside every light bulb? Or is something much bigger happening behind the scenes? Because once you see what happens after you say just 4 words, you'll realize your voice goes on a surprisingly long journey before anything in your house actually moves. Let's follow that journey. Imagine it's 7 o'clock in the morning. You just woke up. Without touching anything, you say, "Good morning." A second later, the bedroom lights slowly turn on. The curtains begin to open. The thermostat adjusts the temperature. Your temperature playlist starts there, and it's your home is set up that way. The coffee maker even starts brewing coffee. It looks effortless, but behind those few seconds, millions of tiny operations happen almost instantly. Here's where most people get it wrong. They think AI hears your voice, understands it, and directly tells every device what to do. That would make sense, but that's not actually how smart homes work. Instead, every command travels through several different stages, and every stage has one specific jar. If even one of those stages fails, nothing happens. So where does it all begin? With something we rarely think about, your voice. The moment you speak, you're not sending words, you're sending sound. That's an important difference. When you say, "Turn on the kitchen lights," your smart speaker doesn't hear English. At least, not at first. All it detects are tiny changes in air pressure. Those pressure changes create sound waves. The microphones inside the device capture those waves and immediately convert them into digital information. Like taking a ferngurt. A camera doesn't understand that it's looking at a dog. It simply records millions of tiny pixels. Only later does software recognize what's actually in the picture. Your smart speaker works in a similar way. First, it records sound. Understanding comes later. But here's something even more surprising. Your smart speaker isn't trying to understand every single sound happening around it. Right now, there might be people talking, a TV playing, music in the background, a fan spinning, a dog barking outside. Yet somehow, it ignores almost everything. So, how does it know when to start listening? Most smart assistants spend nearly all of their time waiting. Not thinking, not answering questions, just waiting. They're listening for one very specific wake word. "Hey Siri," "Alexa," "Hey Google," or whatever wake phrase you've chosen. Until that wake word is detected, the assistant usually doesn't begin processing your request as a command. Think about your own day. Imagine you're sitting in a crowded restaurant. Dozens of conversations are happening at once. You aren't paying attention to any of them. Then suddenly, someone across the room says your name. Without even trying, your attention shifts instantly. Psychologists sometimes call this the cocktail party effect. Our brains naturally notice information that's partially relevant, like our own name. Smart assistants are designed to do something similar with their wake word. Once they recognize it, they know the next words are probably meant for them. But recognizing the wake word is only the beginning. Now comes a much harder challenge. Understanding what you actually meant. Let's say you tell your assistant, "Turn on lights." Say simple. With eBay for the computer's presented. It's lights. The kitchen, the bedroom, the living room, the porch, the garage. You never said. So I don't know. The answer is context. When you first said a smart home, you gave devices names. Kitchen light, bedroom lamp, hallway light, living room TV, front door lock. Into rooms. Now AI is a map you. A picture. A tail map. A new host devices along together. A new drummer in. A sentence. A new true speed. The way to say. True lights. A done renew and choose. You use the information. He has to figure out the most likely mean. Usa honesty. The AI isn't just hearing words anymore. It's combining your words with information about your home. to understand your intention. That's a huge difference. Because humans don't usually speak with perfect instructions. Imagine your friend walks into your house and says, "It's getting dark." They didn't actually ask you to turn on a light, but you instantly understand what they probably mean. Human conversations depend on context. Cement resistance depend on using context too. Not because they can read minds, but because they combine different pieces of information to make a reasonable decision. But here's the question that almost nobody asks. Even if the AI now understands exactly what you want, how does your light bulb hear that decision? After all, the light bulb has no microphone. It never heard your voice. It doesn't know what English is. So how does the message travel from the assistant? Oh, the way to the correct device. In less than a second? That invisible journey is where the real magic begins. So, your smart assistant understands what you want. It knows you meant the living room lights. But here's the next mystery. The light bulb never heard your voice. It has no microphone. It doesn't understand English. So, how does it know it's supposed to turn on? The answer is surprisingly simple. The AI doesn't talk to the light bulb using synthesis. It sends a digital command. Think about sending a text message. You type a sentence on your phone. Your friend doesn't hang your phones. They receive a message almost instantly. A smart home works in a similar way. Once the AI understands your request, it converts it into a small digital instruction, something like, "Living room light, turn on." That's all the light bulb needs. No explanation, no conversation, just a clear instruction. But how does that command reach the light? Imagine your house is filled with invisible roads. You can't see them, but they're there. Some devices use Wi-Fi, others use Bluetooth. Some smart homes use technologies like Thread or Zigbee, which are designed specifically for smart devices. No matter which technology is used, the goal is the same. Deliver the command to the correct device as quickly and reliably as possible. It's like delivering a package. The package doesn't go to every house on the street. It goes to one specific address. Your smart devices work the same way. Every device has its own unique identity. So the command reads exactly the right light, lock, or speaker. Then how can one command control everything? Now here's something that feels almost like magic. You say, "Good night." Sound like, "The lights are off." The door's like, "A thermostat changes." You better fast slows down. Did the AI send one giant command? Not exactly. A foreign you create was called routine or automation. Then like checklist. When the AI hears "good night," it doesn't see just one task. It sees a list. Turn off the lights. Lock the front door. Lower the thermostat. Turn off the TV. Then it sends each command one by one. It happens so quickly that it feels like everything happened at the same time. Does it always need the internet? Here's something that surprises many people. The answer is, sometimes. Many smart assistants rely on cloud servers to understand complex voice commands. That means if your internet goes down, some voice features may stop working. But not every smart home works the same way. Some newer systems can process certain commands locally on the device or within your home network. Simple actions, like turning on light, may still work, depending on devices and platform. So your internet is often important. It isn't always required for every action, because some nodes control your house. This is probably the biggest concern people have. If AI can control my own, can someone else? Mars smart home systems use several layers of protection. Your account is protected with passwords, and many services support two-factor authentication. The communication between devices is typically encrypted, which helps prevent others from reading or changing the commands while they're being sent. But no technologies prevent. If someone uses a weak password, shares their account, or newer security updates, they can make any online system less secure. So your smart home is only as secure as the habits you use to protect it. The beer pitcher. When you tell your house, "Turn off the lights," it doesn't happen because your light bulb understands English. Your voice becomes digital data. The AI recognizes your words. It figures out what you mean using context. It creates the correct command. The command travels through your smart home network. And finally, the right device performs the action. All that usually happens in less than a second. So the next time someone says, "Hey Google, turn off the lights," or "Alexa, lock the front door," remember, your house isn't listening like a human. It's a team of technologies working together so smoothly that it almost feels like magic. And that's what makes today's smart homes so fascinating.